Warmer temperatures on the way. It's a great time to get outdoors, check the hundreds of trails and hikes in our area. Here to highlight a few standouts that you should know about is outdoor writer Yitka Winn. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
So you do a lot of your own research. You've hiked around everywhere, right?
I've spent a lot of time playing around in the outdoors in Washington.
So you chose some things that are varying levels of difficulty and distance. So let's go through a few of these. Your first one, I love the name, is Kamikaze Falls in North Bend.
Yes, correct. And it's also sometimes called Tenerife Falls. It's at the base of Mount Tenerife, which is a peak that is right next to Mount Si. A lot of people have heard about Mount Si. Mount Tenerife isn't quite as well known. But they just recently completed a new parking lot.
Which is good.
At the bottom of the trailhead, so there's a lot more space now for people to go there. And it's about a 2.5, 3 mile hike up to the falls. It's a huge waterfall, and the spring's a great time to do it because there's a lot of runoff from the snow melt. So.
Would you say it's a medium hike?
I would say it's an easy medium hike, yeah. It's sort of a old logging road grade at the bottom, so it's not quite as technical as some other trails in the area. And yeah.
And we can do that. Decabush River Trail on the Olympic Peninsula.
Yeah, so this is one I actually just did a couple weeks ago. It's a good early season one because it's a little bit lower elevation and pretty rolling and mellow. You can hike up to 5 or 6 miles out into the Brothers Wilderness. The photo there is from a lunch spot you can hike up to near a place called Big Hump. So it's a pretty mellow trail up until there, and then a little bit steeper as you're approaching that. And it's a great spot to eat lunch.
About how long?
You can hike as long as you want. There's a little hump that you can hike to that's maybe a mile in and is a pretty easy hike. And then if you want to go for Big Hump, it's 2.5, 3 miles
farther.
in. Yeah.
Okay. Then there's one, I'm glad you said it's brand new because I would have thought I'd know this, a trail called Margaret's Way on Squaw Mountain in Issaquah.
Picked it out for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, this was actually just completed last year, I think. Squaw Mountain's a beautiful area between Cougar Mountain and Tiger Mountain in the Issaquah Alps, and it doesn't often get quite as much foot traffic as those two mountains. And Margaret's Way is a great hike that was made. It's mostly in the woods. You can hike up to a lookout called Debbie's View that has a nice view of Rainier on a clear day.
So do I have to find somebody named Debbie to go with me?
Exactly.
And so how hard is it? How long does it take to get up?
Depends a lot on how fast you're hiking. I think it's about 3 miles up to the lookout. So.
All right. Which of the ones that we've talked about so far might be good with kids? Any of them? Are they easy enough for
I think
kids?
all 3 of those would be great options with, with kids.
Tanum Creek Canyon near Yakima.
Yes,
I hope I'm saying this correctly.
I think you are. Yeah, so this is a nice one. There's a couple different options. You can stay down in the Creek Canyon or you can go up on the ridge. The ridge is a much steeper hike and the Creek Canyon's much more mellow grade. But either way,
good if you're in a group. Maybe some people are up for it and some people would like something more mellow. Then you have a choice.
Yeah, and it's much more desert hiking, as you can see from the photo, than some of the hikes more local that are much more in the trees. So
good
if you
views,
like wide open vistas, that's a great place to go.
That's the place. Miller Peak between Cle Elum and Leavenworth.
So this is a great one. It's probably may not be quite doable yet. It's a little bit higher elevation. It's a little bit more challenging hike. It's probably about, I think it's 9 miles round trip, and it's quite steep. But there's some beautiful views up at the top.
Wow.
And the spring's a great time also to go because the wildflowers are brilliant.
And then someplace really wonderfully nearby, Discovery Park in the Magnolia neighborhood.
Yeah, so I thought I'd throw in one that's a lot more local as well. So this is within Seattle city limits. If you go over to Magnolia, Discovery Park is our biggest urban park in the city, and there's, I think, around 11 miles of trails there. My personal favorite, this one right here, is taken, I believe, from the North Beach Trail, which is a little bit quieter. A lot of people go to Discovery Park and hike the 3-mile loop trail, so that gets a lot of traffic. But if you venture off of that, you take the South Beach Trail or the Hidden Valley Trail down to the North Beach Trail. It's a really nice place to get right by the water.
Might be more peaceful. So you've probably seen people do a lot of things wrong and other things right when they go out for a hike. To sort of talk me through some of your tips.
Yeah, I think first thing is just to have good gear in your pack and be prepared for any kind of weather. In the Northwest, weather can change rapidly, and you might start off on a sunny day and it might rain, or it might get cold, or you might make a wrong turn and be out there a little bit longer than you expect to. So just having good layers to deal with changing weather conditions, and a headlamp certainly if you're hiking towards the end of the day, even though we have much longer daylight hours coming up.
And I would presume remind people that your cell phone's not going to work.
It may not work in all areas, for
yeah,
sure. So.
Don't go the 9 miles and then try to call somebody. It won't work. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We put Yitka's full list of hikes on New Day's website for you to check out, and I hope we'll all go. If you do, let us know. We'll be right back.
Great, thank you.